Hey everyone, what's up? Currently I am just waiting to see if Shane's going to be joining us. I do know we planned this out, but life happens sometimes. So I just wanted to talk to people. Oh, hey Nick. Nick, do you want to come on? Let us invite a Nick Paro. Oh, hey Lasha. I figured I'd do a live for today because, you know, it's crazy and while we're waiting for Shane, hey, Lasha's like one of my best friends, by the way. Lasha and I we're gonna be doing a live Saturday. Um, but while we're waiting for Shane, we got Nick Paro, who is also an awesome human being. I figured I'd do a live today simply because you know what? This is like one of those times where I feel like everyone just wants to talk. I know I sure as hell do. Yeah. Nick, how are ya?
Hey,
So, yeah, we like things have been going a little bit crazy. With the news just a little bit, you
just
know.
a little.
So, let's talk about um, the craziness that we've been seeing. Because I mean, we've heard about all the shootings and killings of innocent civilians and citizens. I've been hearing through the grapevine that everything that we're hearing on the news is literally just the tip of the iceberg.
Yes, yes. I'm not going to say no to any of these things right now. Ossiana, it's nice to meet you finally and actually get to talk to you. Did I say your name right?
Yes.
Awesome. I like trying to make sure I say names right because my last name gets screwed up all the time. So I
How do
always
I
say it
pronounce
right.
your last
It's
name?
Paro, like
Paro.
sparrow without the S.
That is awesome.
Thanks. Is I do believe this is the tip of the iceberg. We've been talking about this type of buildup and this type of escalation in force and escalation in violence for months now. And a lot of people have been talking about it for years. And most of us didn't listen well enough to when they were saying it that this is building, this is coming. Um, that said, in the last year, a lot of us have been really, really, really loudly screaming, "Hey, it's here! Like it's happening! It's going to get worse, and it's going to get more." Um, and it has.
Mhm.
It has gotten worse. It is getting worse. Last night, I was on a live with Washahat Ali and Lev Parnas, right after Ellie Leonard, and both amazing. Both those men are amazing. Ellie is fantastic. If you don't follow Ellie, you absolutely have to. She's amazing. Um, but we talked about it. It's purposeful escalation, especially from the Stephen Miller side. And I can talk about him. He's the smegma of human beings.
It really
Um,
is.
yeah, he's gross. He's just the worst. And that I was just watching a video on YouTube. One of my subscribers sent me a link to it, something that Jen Budd had restacked here on YouTube, and I'll drop the link in the chat for anyone who wants to go to it. And when I post the show from today from this, I'll make sure to add the link in there for you. Um, is somebody broke into an ICE vehicle that was left behind. And there were plans and operational plans that they had left in that vehicle and locations for, if you watch through it, it's got like hotel location for the agent and check-in procedures. It's got like FBI handling procedures, FBI names in the clear, which means plain text
Wow.
FBI names with their phone numbers and their locations. Like, I come from the military. I'm a former, I'm a, I was a U.S. Army sergeant and I did human intelligence collection, which means I was an interrogator and I learned how to do source handling. It's really not that fun of a job. It is kind of cool because you get to talk to people. Um, you never put agents' full names, phone numbers, and locations in the clear on a fucking printed out piece of paper that you bring with you in your fucking vehicle when you're on mission. Like if you're on a mission, because that's what they think this is, they want to play war with us, is they think they're on little missions and deployments. You don't bring the fucking marching orders with you into the field. You're stupid.
I
But yeah, it's
mean,
escalation and it's bad. Um, but I
I'm
am
just,
trying to help people process how to like properly handle what do they do now and what types of things do you do to protect yourself and keep your community safe. Because I'm always action focused. I'd rather be action focused than sitting here going like, the leaders we have in Washington, D.C., who don't do anything, who sit there and go, oh, but it's hard. Well, suck it the fuck up. It's going to be hard. There's
mhm.
fascism. There's white supremacy here. We got to break them both down. This is Confederacy 2.0.
Yeah, this is absolute like last night we were actually talking about this. Like, I do my tarot cards. I'm very woo woo. That's my way of like offering hope and offering some
Could you
foresight
do a
or
reading
insight.
for me?
Actually, yeah, if you want.
Oh, I'd love
Um,
that.
yeah,
Uh,
like
Yeah, anytime.
anybody,
I
yeah,
love that. I've had a couple readings done. Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, anybody who just gonna toot my own horn. Anybody who wants a to buy a reading for me, it's on my buy me a coffee on commissions. But for Nick, I will actually do part of your reading live and then part of it we'll do off camera.
Okay, awesome.
And
Yeah.
that's gonna be free because you're my homeboy.
Oh, you're amazing. You're fucking
Um,
awesome. Go support if you're one of my subscribers here and you're meeting Ossiana for the first time, subscribe to her. I love her already. Like this is awesome. This is a fun conversation. I'm so glad you invited me on and that we're doing this.
aw, you're making me blush.
Hopefully I am. I like doing that. I if you've
Well,
ever heard me, I I am excessively complimentary towards people because I think positivity goes a long way.
it does, and with me, flattery will get you everywhere. Um,
That is good to know.
so yeah,
I
like
won't show my
right,
wife this video. Joking. My wife would love it. She would love this one. And if
yeah,
there's a reading, she would love it too because she's had readings done too.
yeah. So like everybody right now, like we're all on high alert. Most of us see the writing on the wall. But what shocks me is that there's still immigrants out there who are saying, "No, Trump is the right guy. I already got my citizenship. He's not going to go after me." And
Yeah.
I just want to tell them, I'm like, "Honey, it doesn't matter if you've been here 30 years. People 30 years have 30-year-long citizens have been disappeared."
Yep.
And like,
60-year long. Some guy who
yes,
was in like here for from his 60s. I think that was one of the first people that died in a ICE detention center was a Cuban immigrant who's been here for like had been here for like 60 years.
yeah. And it's so weird to see that level of denial come from so many people
Yes.
because it will actually take it won't be the high prices that do them in. It's going to be when they start seeing their friends and family suddenly go and not come back. And as grim as this sounds, I honestly do believe that these people are being put into concentration camps. I do believe
Yeah.
that they're put into a death camp. And it's interesting that, like you said about people breaking into ICE cars, I've seen the ICE car vandalisms, which I can neither
I do
confirm
not
nor deny.
encourage vandalism.
I do not encourage it either, but I definitely cracked a smile seeing it. I'm just gonna say that.
I, hey, you do you, boo.
Mhm.
However, if you do you and you find some really cool stuff, be a whistleblower.
Yeah.
Send it all out. Even if you, hey, sometimes you got to do petty. There's a difference. There's a difference between peaceful and patriotic.
Yeah.
We need to maintain both, but there is a difference. You can do nonviolent patriotic acts that do not ever put anybody's lives in danger, do not ever hurt somebody. You can do nonviolent acts that are very patriotic and peaceful. Note, I did not say legality anywhere in there. There are
Yes.
peaceful and patriotic. Right now, we are fighting for the Constitution, not the laws that have been placed on top of it. We're fighting for the soul of America and the soul of what we desire our nation to look like. And I really hope it doesn't look just like my skin color because
I was
that's
gonna say you look
boring as
good.
shit. I
I
look
was,
good. I mean, I've
yeah,
got that olive skin tone. I've got Mediterranean blood in me. I'm Jewish and French, so we can trace our lineage all the way back to Israel, through Belarus. We are immigrants because we immigrated here from Belarus and Russia during the Bolshevik Revolution. So what? Are we
yeah,
bad people too? Like, am I a bad person? Or am I going to get thrown out? Is Stephen Miller's family going to get thrown out, who has the exact same story as my family does, that came over
that's
from
right. He's
uh,
Jewish.
he is Jewish and his family is from Belarus and came over during the exact same time period my family did. They went to Ellis Island, then they went to Pennsylvania. I know quite a bit about Stephen Miller. I fucking hate that dude and I have to know about him because he's the worst. Just the worst human being in the whole world. And there are a lot of bad people, but Stephen Miller
Is
is
uniquely awful.
just uniquely bad. And he is the smegma of human beings. And I'm going to derail us just for a second. Smegma is the yeasty substance that you find on the tip of a uncleaned, uncircumcised penis. It is like a yeast infection.
Yeah,
That's what Stephen Miller is as a human being. And like, he's gross. He's awful. And Chris said in the chat, one of my subscribers is they're holding 3 tribal members right now. 3 tribal members
it's it's
who
horrifying.
this is their fucking land, their nation before ours. We came here and genocided them.
Hmm.
Where are you gonna send them to? Where are you gonna send a Native American to? Like, what? What are you
Exactly.
fucking people doing?
Well, we know what they're doing. It's just
Yes.
sick.
Yeah.
And
It is.
Chris wrote in the comments things that have happened to cars in the past. Shitting in a car is the act of putting a dog poop under a car door handle, milking a car, putting milk under a seat, and oh boy, does that stink. I'll be honest with you.
A potato in
Uh,
the exhaust makes an
or
interesting statement.
or instead of having them drink my piss, because that seems to be my kiss off comment to anyone who really pisses me off. I could just give them the Ossiana Tepfenhart vampire urine's fresh car smell, which if you've never smelled urine coming from somebody who has porphyria, even when I don't have an attack, my urine, like, you can smell it from a room away. So like it's going to be very fun trying to see them get that out of the car seat. It's not going to be fun for them. Um
Also, apple cider vinegar is rather inexpensive, and you can put it in water balloons, and it's nonviolent. It's not life threatening, but it sure as fuck stinks, and it doesn't come out of clothing. So if you want to out a Nazi, Nazis coming and running through your town, don't hurt them. Just throw a water balloon at them. Throw an apple cider
mhm.
vinegar balloon at them. They'll stink. Everyone will know who they are.
Yeah, like there's been like a couple of like really cool ways that people have been fighting back. The interesting thing now is did you hear that a journalist recently got raided by the FBI over. So this is something that's going to impact almost every single person on Substack, especially if we're like in the journalist sphere, because that is shots fired. That is First Amendment rights being egregiously like
Yes.
overstepped. And what's funny about this is that, like, I forget what publication it was, but the fact that they did this suggests that one, every single journalism company is now going to have their hackles raised. Even the propaganda machines like faux news,
I think it was
bright.
the Washington.
Yeah. Oh, it was Washington Post. So
Yeah, I think
even
she was
maybe it
in.
lied.
Yeah, she was, as far as I know, the individual who was raided was a reporter at Washington Post. Um, and was basically known as like the whistleblower go to almost like if there was a
Yeah.
whistleblower story, this person knew about it and put it out there. So they're coming after the big guys or the big people to scare us, to say we can do it to them. And look, their boss isn't going to stop them. Well, the difference is on our side, at least if you work for, say, a smaller media company that does have the finances to do it. I don't. I don't have the finances to have a media lawyer like that, but there are some that do and are offering the legal protection and will use it for their
Hmm.
journalists and their reporters because this is a first, you're right, First Amendment violation, freedom of the press. That's the biggest, the media has the ability to hold certain secrets unless it's an active crime. You should be like reporting it, which is what they're doing. But if not what Michael Wolff did, where you gave Jeffrey Epstein advice on how to uh, PR advice, that was not journalism. Um,
That was him being a douche.
Yeah, that was him being a douche and being an enabler of pedophilia and an enabler of the community that he wanted to get in with, it seems like. Um, and, he got in with it. He went in with it. He was friends with Epstein. But don't do that shit.
Yeah.
And remember, and the thing with the Washington Post article or reporter is it does scare me. And it does scare
Yeah.
people. And it's not gonna make me stop.
Same.
It's actually gonna
It's
make
gonna
me
make
get
me louder.
louder. Yeah, because right now is the time that you get louder because they're testing what they'll get away with, and if we just like Nicole Good, when they killed her, they're testing what they can get away with to see how far they can push us without us responding. And guess what? Minnesota responded. Minnesota
Hard.
responded last night. Non-violently too. They responded peacefully and patriotically. Yes, there were some arrests, but there was no violence from the protesters. They were not attacking ICE agents. They were not threatening their lives. But ICE agents shot another person in the leg who was running
Hmm.
away, probably scared for their fucking life because they know and they have seen ICE agents just murder people. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would run away too. Men with masks and guns, you were taught from a young age run away. Those are the bad guys.
Hmm.
Every movie, those are the bad guys.
And
Well,
the
we
thing,
got them. They're the bad guys.
the thing is that these gravy seals, they freaking
Gravy
act.
seals. I like
I'm
that.
sorry, but that's what they are. Like, they're all potato shaped assholes, and like, not for nothing, but they're not actual military. Cops hate them. You should have seen the like standoff between an NYPD officer and an ICE agent. The ICE agent saw that he was a white and was like, "Hey, you're not really a citizen." The NYPD was like, "Dude, you're not really any sort of military or police. Get the hell out of my city." I was like, "For once, I'm
That's what
actually
you need
standing
to
with
do.
the cops." When when the cops are sitting there and being like, "Hey, you're freaking terrible." That's when you know you really, really fucked up.
Mhm.
And with the whole like, you're right, this is actually them trying to push. And I think that they're starting to actually get scared. And the reason I'm saying this is because one, they can't seem to muzzle us. On Reddit, a lot of us have started to notice, or at least even like just me, I'm permabanned, but like I casually read stuff. I've noticed that with Reddit posts, you can't upvote certain comments anymore. They stop sticking after a certain number. You can't, like, there are literally bots trying to make it seem like it's not as bad as it really is. There are bots that are trying to hide certain posts, that are trying to do this, do that. They can't even stop it because it's happening at such a rapid pace. And people are actually calling it out on Reddit. People are like on X, like, there's right now a mass exodus of adult film stars, which are like literally the only left leaning group that was still using X simply because X allows adult content. Well, guess what? Now nobody's going to use it because they just ran out of boobs.
I mean, the internet is run by porn and gambling. Like
Hmm.
that people forget that. Like the reason the internet took off and is what it is right now and is as large as it is and has as much money as it does is because of the porn industry and gambling. So if you like either one of those, or if anybody in your life has ever been touched by either one of those, thank the internet. Because you know, and
Yeah,
it's not all bad either. Like the porn industry isn't all bad.
it's
Like,
actually
there
really
are
good.
s yeah, like, I've actually so, I'll before I after I lost my last job, I was a senior software engineer, doing back-end software development, and a I looked into a company called Chatterbait. I didn't
Oh, I love
realize it at
them.
first, um, but I got interviewed by them, and they were like, "Do you know what we do?" I was like, "Yeah, I do. I know what you do." And it also looks like your mission statement is basically the people that are on here own their content and they matter and they're
Hmm.
people and they're valuable. And I was like, that would be a place that I would want to work is people that value the people that they care for. It doesn't matter the industry. Like, yet I've I've almost gone into the porn industry multiple times now in my career just because I know, like, not because I wanted to participate in the porn itself. It was because I was like, I wanted to be a musician, and porn industry has some really good music in it. And then I learned also that it really wants software engineers who know what they're
Oh,
doing and who
yeah.
care. So it's a really interesting auto. What was your profession, or what is your profession?
So I did a little bit of everything. When I like I've been a fetish model for since I was 18 years old.
Okay,
I've been a dominatrix since I was 18 years old. I've also like right now I have a loyal fans account, but for the longest time I actually stepped back from adult content making and I was a journalist who would report on adult film stars and OnlyFans models, and I'd actually interview them. They ended up being some of my best friends. Actually, Lasha Lane, she's a former adult film star. A lot of the people who've been kind of helping me through my divorce have been adult film stars. Um, I actually almost married an adult film star at one point. I also did software engineering requirements trawling for one platform, and I did
oh, that's cool.
promotions and marketing for another. Those two are defunct. I think the the one before the most recent one was I think that they were doing like some sort of tax scam, but it didn't really pan out because I was actually treating it legitimately, and it they started to realize they couldn't do that with me. Um,
It sucks when you meet someone who's actually really ethical and knows how to do what they're doing and has a is able to put their foot down and draw a line in stone rather than sand.
but yeah, but I can actually vouch for Chatterbait and for several other platforms. Loyal Fans has always been the best towards me and most of my friends. Actually, like I don't know if you guys know this girl, Nisa Nevers. She was the one who actually convinced me to just like, you know what, dude, you're hot. You can do this. I was like, you know what, you're right. So she was the one who got me on Loyal Fans. She actually is like friends with a couple of my other friends, and she mentioned that with OnlyFans, there's a higher chance of chargebacks. They tend to be very like rude towards their models, and it's true. OnlyFans has been constantly trying to mainstream itself into something that it's not.
Oh,
And
okay. Yeah.
yeah, it treats adult film stars and sex workers as a redheaded stepchild, so to speak. And a lot of people in the industry actually don't like OnlyFans that much simply because of that. And OnlyFans actually did donate to Trump, which is another reason that you don't see me on there.
Yeah, it's okay to
Yeah.
selectively, mute yourself from certain areas. Like, you don't see me on X. I don't post on that platform because I don't believe in supporting Nazis. Like, I'm cool with not supporting a guy who tried to explain away the difference between a Roman salute and a Nazi salute while at the German far right neo Nazi convention. Like, you can't make that shit up with these stupid fucking
Hmm.
people. And so, yeah, I don't support platforms like that. Like, protest with
Exactly.
your money. Protest with your money every day. If you don't want to support a platform, like, don't pay for them. If
Exactly.
you've found out recently that some of, say, creators that say they've had a mea culpa, but are not
So
answering questions, um, you unsubscribe from them. If people
exact.
are telling you to stop saying "fuck" Adam Kinzinger, you unsubscribe from them. Like, don't police our language. This isn't pu I
No,
don't need your purity culture because that's how we got Nazis.
that that's exactly how they got it. And sorry, I realize I'm waving this little stick around. It's because you heard that like loud scratching noise. My
Yeah.
cat was having a tantrum, and he
Oh. Oh, that's cool.
that's why he was having a tantrum because he saw that I had a stick treat next to me and he wasn't getting it. So, anywho, it's funny because the tone policing only ever seems to go one way, and people are starting to get sick of it. They're like, "I don't care what you want me to say. I'm not gonna be nice with you because so far you've called for the deaths of my friends, the deportations of random people, this, that, and the other. I've never actually criticized your potty mouth." Adam
Yeah.
Kinzinger, like, he just kind of showed his hand. Like, this is a dude who did not care, like, what was going on. Because anybody who does care is gonna get foul-mouthed, is gonna get angry, is going to get steamed up. This guy does not speak for us, and the funny thing is that I used to like him. I used to. I had faith in him. But now it's all just become, "No, no, no, let's just be a little polite, let's be civil." No, you can't be civil with Nazis. That's what has gotten us here. You're right.
Yeah. We have to be willing to we have to be willing to abandon the philosophy of the passive left or passive
Yeah,
progressive. I am not a passive progressive. I am the fuck you progressive. I am the gonna tell it to your face progressive. I'm the I don't give a shit anymore progressive because I'm tired of always moderating to center far right. Why don't we try for once to
just
moderate to center progressive rather than center regressive? Because that's what the Republicans are. They're regressives.
mhm,
They want to take, 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 take. We're already going backwards. They took away abortion rights and healthcare and
mhm,
data privacy because that's really what um, the Roe v. Wade was about data privacy.
yeah.
They took away your right for data privacy. And if you don't know that, and you're, say, a man who thinks you're safe from it, you're married. If your wife goes to the doctor's office and asks for, say, a hysterectomy or to any sort of activity like that, they'll go look at your medical records to verify if you've had a vasectomy or not. They go
Yeah.
invade your medical records. Ask me how I know, because they did it. They fucking did it multiple times. And it's not against the law anymore. They get to do that.
They
They get to invade my privacy. Nobody asked if my records could be opened. Nobody asked me, but the doctor did it anyway.
So, the funny thing is that I actually totally sympathize with you. I had a partial hysterectomy/tube tying thing happen when I was in my mid-20s after I gave birth. They found a series of tumors in my endometrium after I gave birth because I was still bleeding out for about 6, 7, 8 months after. Well,
Oh, that's
I'm
awful.
sorry, do you see these
I
2
see
little
what's going
kids?
on.
Kids, behave.
You are under attack by cats.
I know it's the best thing ever. I want more cats.
I've got
Um,
3 I've got 2 of my 3 dogs laying around me, so I get it.
yeah, I have 5 cats currently living with me. 3 are mine, 2 are my mom's, but technically I still think of my mom's cats as mine too because I helped adopt them and the works. Um, but yeah, as far as this stuff goes, I had to go to about 12 doctors before they'd do this and before they would actually take care of me. They were ready to fucking let me die just so I could crap out more kids. And they would lie to me. They would be like, "Oh no, we don't have the supplies for that." Newark Beth Israel, you had the supplies. You lied. And I still have the video of them lying. And the funny thing, yes, I am a crazy cat lady, but back to the story. Like what people don't understand is that Roe versus Wade's fall also potentially ruined a lot of men's lives. You know why? Because if a woman gets pregnant by you, your hands are tied. In the past, she might have been able and willing and financially lucky enough or connectively lucky enough to get an abortion. That's not going to happen anymore. So, what happens if you're cheating on your wife and the mistress decides, you know what? I like what she's got. I'm going to move in on that. Guess what? Your wife is going to divorce you. You're going to be on the hook for child support, even if she doesn't. And your wife is probably going to find out because of the medical records. And that goes for politicians, that goes for all those CEOs. And let me tell you something, a lot of the sex workers who are not good people, because I know like 90% are great, but the ones that are not good people, they have no problem home wrecking you, getting knocked up on purpose so that they can get a slice of that pie. And if that so happens, you're going to see a lot of Republicans getting outed for having like illegitimate children up the wazoo. We're talking like 10, 13, 14. Since medical records are no longer private, who knows? Maybe journalists will get a hand of it too. We don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, they're transferring medical records and they're moving things that shouldn't belong in, say, Health and Human Services under RFK's management for like school psychology and like child special education.
Hmm.
They're now moving under Health and Human Services, and I don't want RFK to have any access because that's what they compiled all your separate records into one database. As cool as that sounds to have a simple database that you can like easily find your information from, there's a
It gives a
reason we
lot of,
don't do that. Because then if somebody hacks it, they have all of your information. So let's say couple months ago, you get a letter in the mail after going in for a cancer screening, and it says, hey, all of your data was stolen, including this, this, and this. You know how that happened? Because they allowed Doge to go in and steal all your data and compile it into a single database so that RFK can make autism registries and databases and ADHD registries and databases and any type of neurodivergence and registry database so that they can track us all down and find us. Or they can access your records if you have disabilities because they don't ask anymore. Or they can get your records, say, for surveillance cameras that are brought to you
hmm
by Flock Safety and Palantir and internal policing and profiling. They can aggregate all of that together now because they have it, because they've
yeah,
been granted access to it. It wasn't supposed to be that way for a reason.
but,
It was that way so that one person could never have that control. And now they
and
can
it
see
gets
all of
darker. It gets darker because, like, because of my issues with the US medical system, I've gotten a lot of my diagnoses in healthcare off the books for a reason. Like, I
it.
have certain friends who are doctors. That's how I got diagnosed with porphyria, stuff like that. And, like, think about it this way. I have this disease where if I stay outside, outdoors too long, I start getting bad stomach pains, pins and needles from my hands all the way up into my fingertips. I start hallucinating. I start babbling. I can't form sentences. And after a while, I start getting paralyzed. And that paralysis can actually stop my heart and have cause a seizure. The scariest part about this is that they can do that if they know all of your diagnoses. Oh, you're diabetic? Oh, guess what? Somebody accidentally slipped you a bunch of sugar instead of sweetener or something like that. Guess what? They are basically giving these people a step by step plan on how to assassinate anyone and make it look like an accident.
Mhm. I mean,
That's
we
that's
we know
terrifying.
that's the history of the US in some ways. That's happened for decades is assassinations, but it's also a very Russian thing to do is what's going on. And a lot of what has happened in the US isn't. specifically a Russification of the US, but it is a Russification influence of the US. They took over the orthodoxy of the church and turned it into modern day evangelicalism and white nationalist supremacy. They built on the undercurrents already here because we inspired the Nazis from the Civil War and the
Mm-hmm.
KKK. The Nazis were inspired by the US, which is why I compare us to Nazi Germany, but I also very specifically talk about um, the Confederacy and how we mirror the Confederacy and the new Confederacy that they're trying to overlay on top of our government. Because, after Trump's last term, they raised the Confederate flag at the White House. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, is they want to regress. This is their wet dream
Yeah.
is to kill Americans, is
Yeah.
they have a dream because a lot of them are based on the Curtis Yarvin style of thinking where the US is overpopulated by two-thirds of its population capacity, which means of a 340 million roughly population, about 240 million of us need to die
Yeah.
is what they think. So this is part of their plan. We cannot take this as incidental things. The tech
It's
oligarchy
planned.
wants something different than the Christo fascists, but they're similar enough that they wrap into this same thing. And going back to like the data capture, is they already do it. Like they've already tracked people cross states with hundreds of cameras and without warrants and just do it. They have people who are sitting in police stations watching cameras of of their exes
Yeah.
and who they abuse and nobody's stopping them. That's the type of thing that has been enabled because of these systems because we don't care and they're trying to kill us. That
Yeah.
you're not wrong is an assassination attempt by any other word, basically. Like RFK is
Mhm.
manufacturing a plague.
Yeah. He
And
is.
so they want to kill us. That's not an understatement.
And the interesting thing, like, here's what I've started to notice about MAGA in general. Amy's asking then how can they be pro-life? They were never pro-life. They were actively working on culling the American population. Now, here's what's interesting. And I've mentioned this before in this talk that I know immigrants who are people of color. Like, we're not talking like, fresh from Britain, been here 20 years, but actual people of color. We're talking like, I've met a Haitian like this. I've met a Brazilian who is half black, half native Brazilian. It's a shame he was gorgeous, but like, I don't understand how his brain was working. Um, and all of these people, they're like, well, we're the good ones. They're not going to do this to the good ones. I think about who's that one who reminds me of Jack Saw from Saw? Do you want to play a game?
Oh,
Loomer. That's it.
oh, she's
Loomer.
nice.
She's really good, but like she's Jewish. Miller is Jewish, and they're already talking about the Jewish question. And look at Kash Patel. Kash Patel He's Cash Patel might think he's white, but he is not white. He is Indian, he is South Asian, and he's already starting to get the pitchforks turned towards him. What happens when 90% of these hunting dogs for MAGA realize that they're going to be next? They have ICE agents who are Mexican American. It's like a third of them, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen to Jen Budd. She's a former senior border patrol agent who resigned right after or right around 9/11 time period. Um, and then she became a whistleblower and investigator of Border Patrol, CBP, and ICE. And holy shit, they are a white nationalist Nazi paramilitary is
Yeah.
basically what it boils down to. They actively recruit specifically from Turning Point USA. There was they just got outed as like a whole set of ICE members just got outed with a Proud Boy leader who
Mhm.
just got pardoned from 22 years in prison was is fucking part of ICE. They hire rapists. They
Yeah,
hire criminals. They're not training them. And what Jen Budd was talking about is like the culture of ICE and what they're taught
it's
and the
insane.
words that they use, even like about the Hispanic um, ICE agents or Border Patrol agents, is they call them what is called a tonk. It's
Hmm.
the sound a flashlight makes when it hits your head.
Oh, wow.
That's what they call them. And she was like, part of as going in as a woman is part of the hazing and being accepted is you get raped. And
Jesus
like there's a
Christ,
rape
dude.
culture. There's a pedophile culture. There's child
Oh, yeah.
porn culture. Like there's so much gross shit in all of this. And you're right. There's a lot of Jewish people in America who
Who
are
think that they're
there
immune.
are there are a lot of selective Jewish people in this cabinet who are or in this administrate regime are actively participating. It's not just Christo-fascism. It's not just Christian fascism or Catholic fascism because JD Vance is a Catholic fascist. Stephen Miller is a Jewish fascist. It's
Yeah.
okay that we can say those things. They're all Abrahamic fascists because as I'm coming to learn more and see in life of what some of these groups do in leadership is the leadership of the Christian church, the Catholic church, and the Jewish synagogues in general, well, maybe not synagogue, but government entities. The way they lead governments is always through violence. It's
Yeah.
always through oppression. It's always through hurt and hate and isolation because they think they need an ethno state of some sort.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Peter Thiel, he's gay and a fascist. It doesn't matter. You can be a fascist in those groups, groups they hate because you hate yourself
Mhm.
so much that you convince yourself you have to be someone else and then you spew that hate on everyone else. That's why Stephen Miller looks as ugly and as pitiful as he is because
Yeah.
hate comes out of you looking bad. I don't look like shit because I'm not a hateful person. Like, I
Exactly.
I have quality skin because I care for myself and I'm not a hateful person. Stephen Miller looks like a penis and looks like a wrinkled just testicle and
Yeah.
sack and like a taint and the gross sack because he's ugly,
Yeah.
because his personality is hate and ugliness. And if you don't live that, well, then you're not ugly. Laura Loomer is ugly as shit because she's fucking hateful.
And she
No
used
other
to look
reason.
cute.
She
She used to
did,
look cute.
and then she
Hate
got
ages you.
that Mar-a-Lago MAGA look that they all get. Like, apparently botulism is okay, but vaccines aren't.
Yeah. So that's like that's definitely a thing. But what I'm saying is that, and I think that we're starting to see it happen sooner rather than later. One of the reasons that MAGA is falling apart is because they realize they're next.
Yes.
They do.
He told them they
And
were.
we told them they were, and
No, he
now
told
they're
them they
hearing it
were. Yeah.
from ICE too.
W and Donald Trump told them they were too,
Yeah.
on top of ICE, is he said, "I don't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore. You're not the ones I care about anymore." He said
Mhm.
that to MAGA. He told them, "I don't care about you. I don't need you anymore. I'm done with you." He only cares about what his circle is saying. And yeah,
Exactly.
the guy who wrote the poem that was first they came and then they came for me was a Nazi
He
and
was.
they came for him. So lesson learned. And they didn't learn that lesson.
They didn't learn that lesson, but they're starting to. I'm starting to see
Mhm.
all those
Oh,
prayers to
yeah.
Trump on X and on Threads where they're like, "Listen, I voted for you, dear Donald Trump, 3 times in a row. Could you please just do something to help me with my medication?"
Sure, we'll
Trump
take it
doesn't
away.
care. He's laughing at you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, and now I think very slowly, as more and more and more people are getting burned by this regime, they're going to end up starting to turn tails on one another. Most of the biggest issues that we're going to have is not going to be left versus right. It's going to be right versus right. When Indians realize that, hey, they were never actually allowed to sit at the table, that's when you're going to see people like Kash Patel and Usha Vance start speaking out. You're going to start seeing people leaking that stuff left and right. And like Usha learned the hard way. JD Vance is very I genuinely believe he's already looking for wife number 2.
Oh, Erica Kirk.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but
I'll
like
say it.
come on, dude.
That's what they want. They're grooming Erica Kirk, whether she
Yeah.
wants to or not. Like, she's a victim too. As much as I hate her, she's a victim of the indoctrination
Yeah.
that she is a part of. And she has been groomed into a role that, whether she wanted to be there or not when she got married to Charlie Kirk, whether this was somehow
Yeah.
what they wanted or envisioned, she got groomed into it. And it's okay that we can admit that she's groomed into being probably the next first lady choice or first dickhead choice. Um, because yeah, Usha Vance looks so miserable. That woman looks like she is so abused.
Yeah.
Her face looks so abused. Like, wow, what is that dude doing to her?
Well,
And
like
can we know? Because she just looked fucking miserable.
so I've seen that look. I've been the woman who looked like that, where literally, I've had very unhealthy relationships in the past. I'm not pointing fingers at my ex. Actually, my ex and I agreed that this is like the healthiest thing that we can do, splitting up. I wish him the best. You know, we both have our issues, and but prior to my ex, because my ex was actually a decent-ish guy. Um, up up until things got toxic, and I will admit I did have a role to play in that. Um, I've had exes who treated me the way that I believe JD probably treated Usha, where she literally bent over backwards. She did everything possible to get him up here doing this, networking with this guy, telling him how to do this, 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 and this. And, with this kind of relationship, and I speak from experience, a lot of women go into these types of relationships, and this includes me. I have a tendency of having this happen where you expect reciprocity. You're like, okay, I did this, this, and this, and this. And then that reciprocity never comes and it burns in a way that is like, it's hard to truly explain, like I can't explain how much it hurts. And you keep trying and you keep trying. And this is definitely one of my more toxic traits because you keep trying until you start lashing out in anger and then you look like the bad guy. But you can see how burnt out she is. You can see the dismay on her face. You can see that she feels used. You can see that, like, as soon as Erica Kirk came into the picture, she vanished. She feels hurt. She was expecting to be celebrated. She was expecting to feel loved. Am I projecting? Probably a little bit, but I see so much of her in so many of the relationships that I've had in the past. And like that kind of relationship, especially when the stakes are as high as it is, especially when she basically betrayed her own race, her own people, in order to advance this white nationalism. A lot of Indians are never going to be able to accept her in the community again. I can tell you that much. Like, mo- neurodivergent hodgepodge says, most are MAGA now. I don't think that that's going to remain the case. She's going to end up having a very lonely life when he inevitably discards her. Because once people like JD are done draining you, you're gone. That's the only reason that JD Vance and Trump have lasted so long together.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's I don't wanna make people think I don't feel bad for Erica Kirk. I mean, I feel bad that her husband died. He got fucking shot, like, that's awful. I
That's
feel
horrible.
bad for her children who lost a father, And hopefully, because of this event, they grow up with a better representation of what gun violence can do
Yeah,
and advocate against the ownership of weapons like that. And I hope Charlie's legacy is that his children do the exact opposite of what he wanted. That his daughters grow up to be strong, independent women who don't need no man, but maybe want one or want a
yeah,
wife, whatever. But I want them to grow up to be strong and independent and out of that indoctrination. I don't feel bad for them. They do it
exactly.
now on their own volition. Like Laura Loomer does this on her own volition. Erica Kirk does this on her own volition. Usha
So,
Vance did this in the beginning, partially on her own volition because she wanted to be
oh,
there, but she got betrayed.
she got betrayed, and um, it's interesting. I'm seeing a lot of comments here about how a lot of people don't feel sympathy for these women, and I'm going to kind of shock everybody because I grew up conservative. I grew up in a town that's basically all white. I grew up and I heard all the conversations behind closed doors, and people often think that I'm kind of loony because of it. But I know that a lot of white people, they don't see people of color as citizens. They don't. It doesn't matter how long you've been here. It doesn't matter. It like they say second class citizens, but I've heard people tell black people to go back to Africa, even though they've been here for like 9 generations. I'm sorry, they're American American,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And the weird thing I noticed in these conservative circles is one, they pit women against one another to, get the guy with the highest resources because at that point you're basic as a conservative woman, you're basically a meat product
A
and
vessel.
you have a vessel. You're a vessel, you're a sex toy, and if you can't get the right guy, and if you can't, get the ring on your finger, you can't lock one down, and you can't lock a guy down of, you know, quality enough to support you, you're screwed. You're seen as a failure. You are the failure. Your parents might not even talk to you if you're not married by a certain point or if you're not pregnant by a certain point. And what ends up happening with a lot of these women, and I noticed this a little bit with myself, like you start hating yourself so much that you actively start fantasizing almost about getting the cruelest guy that you can, getting the guy who they get everybody talks about Republicans and their weird kinks. But a lot of this is because their kinks are a way of coping with their grim reality, or it's their way of taking back power. Like a lot of these guys, we all know that Grinder goes offline when there's too many conservatives.
Every time conservatives are in town, it's a freaking grinder. Grinder goes down. It's the biggest sex male orgies that you can possibly have. Um, it's
It's their self-loathing.
nuts. Yeah, it is. It is their self-loathing. It's also interesting to me because, and I'd be interested. I really want your opinion on this because I have a hard time with the idea of outing somebody. Um, and I know that there are certain people who should be outed because they are a threat to their own community and are
They are.
actively writing legislation or actively engaged in the destruction of the safeties for a community. How do you feel about outing folks like that? Say Mike Johnson or Lindsey Graham or Matt
Honestly,
Gaetz or someone like that.
honestly, this is gonna sound pretty wild, but Sasha Riley, I don't
I will
know enough.
not go there. I won't
I
go
don't
there.
know
I
enough
have not
about Sasha
verified.
Riley quite yet. Simply because like I've been kind of blocking out certain things simply because I have a little bit too much experience in things related to the Epstein files, and it just kind of it's been wrecking my mental health even more so than certain other things. But
And from
um
my side is I can't valid I haven't been able to verify the story, and I'm waiting on certain people I know to verify, um, the story before I say anything because I wanna make sure that when we're talking about something so egregious as the assaults and the rape and the hurt and the damage that was done to these women and to boys that we don't, these girls and boys, because there are boys we just don't know about as many yet, is we have to know that what we're speaking about is true, because if it's
So,
not, it can do damage to the victims and survivors in a way that we don't want to participate in. I don't want to participate in damaging or hurting
um,
these survivors.
yeah, so I can tell you what happened with me. I was a survivor of a sex trafficking ring ran by a guy who was known as Skywolf and or Kender. There's currently an open FBI case about it, and he actually did have government contracts, and the people who were involved, there were two sections. There was one in New York City, and then there was one in Washington D.C. slash Baltimore. Um, New York City, I believe that there's still an ongoing investigation. There have been arrests. I know this for certain. A lot of them have actually been scrubbed, including the one who was the most egregious. Skywolf himself was found dead in Washington, D.C., and I can tell you firsthand that the things that happened to me in DC and what happened to a lot of my friends, a lot of them don't come back. So I don't think most people understand how horrifying and how twisted that particular area of the United States is. And that's one of the reasons I try not to talk too much about what goes on in those files, because I get flashbacks, and I know several other people who are still alive who, like, they can't talk about it. They can't do it. So um this is also like the first time I've actually like mentioned the name of my trafficker on Alive. So um I think that tells you about how much I've had enough of hearing this Epstein stuff, because
Mhm.
at this point, you know what? The federal government is falling apart. I used to have faith in the FBI. I'm not sure if I have faith in the FBI anymore. I might as well just say what happened to me. Um
Take your power
I'm
is all I
trying,
can
man.
say on that. Is if there's a way I can help you take that power, and own your power, let me know. Like
It's
I'm
like
so fucking sick and tired of having to keep telling men specifically, like, I'm gonna keep doing it until I fucking die at this point, but, like, I'm so fucking tired of having to tell men to leave their fucking hands off of people, to stop hurting people, because when you anything other than yes means no. Like, what the fuck, guys? Like, that's all
I
I can
mean,
say to people like that is, "What the fuck?" And I'm so, so sorry that and I
like
know I didn't participate,
I
but
know,
I'm
but it's
so, so sorry that this experience is your life and so many women's, and so many women's lives, and so many boys and girls that we and men that
a lot of
who
them don't
never
even
come out.
realize it's happening. That's
Yeah,
the fucked up part. Like,
and you realized it was happening
no, not
at
at the
some point?
time.
Okay.
At some point I realized, like, it was actually it was kind
I
of
don't
messed
wanna
up because
bring
I
you
was
into this if you don't wanna go there right now.
um I only kind of realized what happened when I was watching a World War II documentary, and they said one of the things that, like, one of my traffickers did to me, and I thought that it was normal. I thought that that was what friends did, and was it was done in um I'm sorry. Let's change
Yeah, let's finish the talk.
sorry.
Let's go back to something. No, no,
Um
I'm sorry that we got down this rabbit hole, and I
sorry.
no, take a breath,
Anywho,
take a breath, we're okay.
just
Uh,
give me a second.
there's other things going on in the world that we can talk about that that let you breathe, um, and
Sorry.
give you space to
Yeah,
be. So let's
like, but
overall.
as far as these conservative women go, what I do want to say is I understand why they are the way that they are. I really do. And it sounds messed up because these women, like, people don't understand the level of grooming, the level of raising people, the level of brainwashing, the level of how much it is beaten into you. And people don't understand how isolating it can be to be growing up in a conservative world because they're literally just throwing frisbees, they're literally just putting up hoops for you to jump through. And at all these times when you should have female friends backing you up and be like, "You know what? Party on. Let's all be sluts. Let's let's do keg stands. Let's hug it out." Like, they're not there. They're your
Mhm.
enemies, and they should not be your enemies. And the worst part is that when you're in those circles, you're constantly stuck with them. And they're like, "Okay, these are your new friends," and they never really actually like each other. And you just sit there and you're like, "Okay, maybe I'm the wrong one. Maybe it's all my fault. Maybe this, that, and that." Like, I'm actually going to therapy because I still have this tendency left over from all this shit where I lash out in anger, I go Hulk smash on everything. I'm actually getting help for that. And it was, like, when I actually realized how much this shit was affecting me that I got help. And a lot of these women will never admit that because that means, okay, if I need help, I'm defective. Most of these women, if they could, if they could literally just get away from all of this and just be around women who don't judge them, half of them will be toxic as hell, probably for the rest of their lives, because they were raised to be basically pit vipers. But the other half, you would just see them flip a switch. It'll be like a completely different human being. And a lot of these people, I honestly think, are going to have to reckon with the damage and the hurt and the pain and the suffering that they've given to other women, and the damage and the hurt and the pain and the suffering that they've given to everyone else around them. When they start to realize that this is not normal, that's when it's going to start really hitting them. And there's going to be some women who they're going to try to rebrand. And there's going to be some women who they're actively going to start speaking up against. And it won't always be easy to tell. But when you start to see it for real, you'll absolutely be able to know. I think that Usha might end up being one of those. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I keep saying I honestly see her grief, I honestly see her hurt, and I 100% believe that she's going to end up being one of the most interesting redemption arcs in American history.
I want to give MTG the space to do that, and it needs to be done while not a politician. Like,
Yeah,
she can do whatever the hell she needs to do to for her redemption arc, but that redemption arc does not need her in our government or as the
agreed.
leader of it. And yeah, you are seeing the women first. It's also the women first in the conservative group or regressive group that are breaking from
Yeah,
the leadership because they're finally saying, I've had enough. I'm done being abused in this way." And it is abuse, whether they're done being abused overall by the Republican Party is a different story, or their donors or whatever. However, if they're done being abused by Trump and his brand of MAGA, that's okay. Breaking MAGA and breaking Trump is a goal, is one
yeah,
of the goals. It has to be one of the goals. Like, I'm okay with Marjorie Taylor Greene breaking MAGA into at least two or three different factions. I'm okay with Usha Vance and Kash Patel breaking MAGA and taking their swaths away. I'm okay with everyone except for Nick Fuentes and Laura Loomer taking any power because those two are fucking gross human beings. Nick Fuentes needs to
Can
be peppered spray more often. Um,
can we talk about like how weird it is that Nick Fuente has an obsession with cat boys, keeps getting caught with gay porn on his thing, and he's like, "No, I'm the alpha male manly man."
okay, okay. So let's go into this. Nick Fuentes is one, he's the head of the Groypers. He
Mhm.
started the Groyper movement for anybody who doesn't know who Nick Fuentes is. He is an outright Nazi. He calls himself that.
Mhm.
Um, he is also very ardently in the belief system of the Roman um, male service where, or this fake ideology of Roman culture where only men can please another man sexually. However, it's not gay.
It's totally
And
not gay,
women are
bro.
only there for birth and as a vessel. It's the same ideology on the
Yeah.
Christian side of women are vessels. But it's this
Well,
weird subversion that these femboys, these soft males who can be as feminine as they want without transitioning, because that's really the
mhm.
end. A lot of them are groomed into it too. There are many who are groomed into that culture
Yeah.
by right wing men like Nick Fuentes and the Groyper movement and this black pill movement of nihilism or nihilism. It doesn't really matter because who gives a shit? It's nihilism. They are all groomed into this culture. Men too are groomed into this culture of we're looking for a Chad, which is their second to top ideal. They have the atom. The atom is their top ideal, which is funny to me. I'll get into that one if you want, because I think
Mhm.
Adam's the most beta of men ever, because he let a snake, a talking snake, steal his wife from him when no other human was there. And
I
my
mean,
thing
could you
is the
blame
snake,
Eve?
I mean, the snake was probably a metaphor for a dildo. Like she probably invented the first dildo and was like, "Oh, I can have an orgasm, but this lame ass dude who doesn't know how to make me like enjoy myself is trying to do what to me now? Nah, I'm good." And she let a snake, her dildo, be her pleasure toy, and Adam
Yep.
couldn't live up. So that's my thing on the snack. But they have this ranking hierarchy. It's very damaging to them, and femboys fit into that. Like they are the pleasure toy for their big Chad, masculine, muscly man who can beat them up whenever they want or put them on a leash and walk them around and say you're my slave. They want that, but they don't see it as gay, which is
Yeah,
so fucking weird because
it
when a
is.
dude puts a dick inside of him, that is gay. It's okay. It's okay that it's gay too. Like, cool. The
Yeah.
animals are gay too. Like, we got gay monkeys, we got gay fish, we got gay frogs, we got all the gay things. We got all of the transgender things too in nature. So why the
Yeah.
fuck are we the ones who have to say we're special? Like, get the fuck off this planet, Nick Fuentes.
Nah, like
Go like do some other shit.
Nick Fuentes is literally a guy who spent way too much time on 4chan, and it's funny because
8chan,
for
more 8chan.
8chan, maybe 7chan, but like I was at one point down that rabbit hole when I was a teenager, and a young adult where I could have gone that route, but I kind of broke away from it. I found my own group, and a lot of these guys, they're they don't realize it, but they're actually emotionally crippling themselves. They're making it hard for them to ever actually get friendship connections, romantic connections. And like I've mentioned this earlier in the chat related to conservative women, what happened to me and other shit like that. But like when you don't have a basis of normal, whatever somebody tells you is normal or whatever you keep seeing is normal becomes your normal and you try to exemplify it. That's what happened with Nick. He saw trolling as normal. He saw hate as normal. He drank the Kool-Aid. even though he is a gay, half Latino man with a square freaking head. And
He's pretty ugly.
he really is like, dude, he's gross. Like, I once had a nightmare that I slept with him and I woke up and I was like, ah, I ended up like just staying in my bathtub for 3 hours. True
I
story.
would have too. Like, I would have washed
Yeah,
my
dude.
mouth out and been like, what the fuck was that nonsense? He
No,
has a very
dude, like,
punchable face.
never, ever, ever drink a large glass of kava for like ideas to like brainstorm articles and then go to sleep. Horrible, horrible lesson I learned. Rule for the wise, if you use supplements to, improve your writing like I do, kava and kratom, don't take them too late at night and don't take too much of them because you'll have dreams of Nick Fuentes. So, yeah. So it's interesting that they're going back to like the Greco-Roman thing. They're trying to do all these things where like men are in charge. It's a very homoerotic type of culture because they don't want the love of women. They don't show love to women. They only show love to themselves and they're constantly doing this weird like, proto-sexual man thing. Even like with what is it, the basketball where they tackle the each other? Well, whatever that thing is that they do. It's a thing. I don't
Well,
really just yeah, that's
the
it.
one with the tight pants and the
Yeah,
pads all
yeah.
over them, and they all you see is men grabbing each other's asses and pulling balls between each other's
Yeah.
legs.
Like
Yeah.
one time I got really drunk and I saw some football players and I asked if they were the strippers. They were not very pleased with me. Um,
About the same size and build.
Sometimes depending on the type of stripper that you're getting. Ask for Ossiana's discount stripping. No, I'm joking, but um as far as that goes, it is um it is a very weird culture and it's so heavily built on indoctrination. And the reason that Trump, I think by now everybody started to notice, and send a heart if you agree with me, that Trump is getting nervous over all the protests and all the people turning coat on him. Does anybody else see that? Because he keeps trying to clamp down. He keeps trying to make propaganda that's pro ICE, and it's not working very well. The reason that he's getting so nervous is because even conservatives can no longer control their own narrative.
Yeah.
The jail the jailhouse is now in control of the inmates and they don't like what they see. When people actually start telling the truth, that's when conservatism falls apart. And that's why they want us to stop protesting. That's why they have Palantir and they're doing the face scans. They're trying to find the most vocal of us to make it an example. But the problem is that you can't kill off 2/3 of America. You can't.
No, we're a big nation, and there's more guns in America than there are people. Um, and to be honest, I'm very, very proud of Americans for the um, for the restraint that they have shown in not firing back when situations have gotten escalated. I am proud of Americans for their restraint so far because it's needed. We cannot be the aggressors in this situation right now. There's a difference between going on offense and hurting people. Like,
Yeah.
we can be on offense, and there was a comment I wanted to quickly mention was from Neurodivergent Hodgepodge around what Zev Shalev and Dean Blundell are talking about on the five stack with Trump shouldn't have election. Trump
Yeah.
saying, we shouldn't have elections. Again, I'm not going to say Trump is not going to try it. He's going to try to cancel the elections. Elections are run by the states. Red states may go along with his idea of trying to cancel an election. Blue states will not. And in fact, they will protect and guard their elections as best as they can and in every way possible. That may include National Guards being called up or having citizens standing outside polling booths. However, the federal elections cannot be canceled. Those are run by the states, and the states will not let that happen because come take my fucking right to vote away. See what the fuck
Yeah.
happened. Come at me, bro. Come take my right to vote away. Come take my right to own a gun. Come take my right to speak. Come take those rights away in person and see what will happen. Because
That's
that's where people are. That's what it is. But you prepare yourself, you stay sane by reaching out to and building your communities and alternative systems around you, and you support each other. Yeah, blue states may have to do mutual aid coalitions. That said, we cannot be the instigators. We have to be protective of those and go on offense by ensuring that we have these groups ready. Form a well regulated militia. You don't need to have weapons to have a well regulated militia. You know what a poll watcher group is? That's a well
yep.
regulated militia by any other name.
And let's just talk about how the Black Panthers of Philly have been stepping up. I freaking love these guys, and some
Hmm.
of them are like crazy hot, like male model hot, which makes it only like 10 times better in my opinion.
On camera.
They
Make them out there. Put them out there. Put hot men out there because there's enough men who love hot men too that they're going to go, ooh, this good looking man's telling me something to do. And they're going to follow just because that
yeah,
man looks better than they do.
no, like they've been stepping up. They've been holding police accountable. They've been holding ICE accountable. They've been showing up with like assault rifles and everything. Guess what? ICE is not going to fuck with Philly. And that's what we're going to have to start seeing. We're going to have to start seeing more groups like the Black Panthers. We're going to have to start seeing more alliances like that. And we're going to have to start seeing, oh, um, this just popped out, creative power, that is kind of like the whole thing. We're going to end up creating the resistance because right now ICE is starting to learn what fuck around and find out means. People are leaking their names, they're leaking everything. Guess what? ICE can no longer hide behind those masks. The masks don't work because we know who they are. We know what their plans are. People might be legally obligated to support ICE, like to a certain point. Like I've mentioned this before, but travel has been doing this. They've been doing those Palantir scans on people's faces, but they're starting to realize that even with that, it's falling apart. And we have to keep rattling them that way. We have to keep rattling the politicians. If you are in a red state, don't let them get peace. Be the person playing the saxophone outside at 4 a.m. Be the person who refuses to serve them at a Mexican restaurant. Be the person who, if it's a right wing politician, refuses to give them an abortion, refuses to give them birth control, and be like, I'm sorry, but can't you just keep your whore legs together? Not that I'm slut shaming most people, but I'm sorry, GOP women. Y'all need to learn the hard way that you ain't any different than me. Um, Anywho, let's pull a couple cards for you.
Awesome.
Do you have a particular question in mind?
No, not really. I'm pretty solid in the direction that I'm going right now. I had a friend at the end of the year tell me that I needed to whatever yes meant to me was what I needed to do. And I guess my question might be is that yes the right one so far?
Let's see. Is
Is
that
that
yes?
too close? Is that too like
This is going to give you more of a snapshot because I actually do have to be somewhere around 4:30. I have
oh
to
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
prepared for a hot date, but I am going to give you the answer to your
Get it.
question. That yes, the right one for you. So this is an interesting card. It's Imset. It's one of the canopic jars that mummies used to have. This is the air spirit, which means this has more to do with like your lungs, your liver, and it's actually one of the better cards to get because this is a sign of detoxing. This is the one of the four sons of Horus, and it's a canopic funerary jar that signifies the liver. And this is a conscious choice in life. So it's exactly what your friends say. And it's used for alchemy, healing, ceremonial magic. And it says, I tell you to make careful choices in life in accordance with the law of Mat, which means the law of universal cosmic justice. If you're fighting on the side of justice, and true order, not the order that's going on with like ice, but true order, then the yes is correct. It says, I will influence the health of your body, liver, and eternal life. Avoid too much alcohol and ask you to give me healing of your body and mind. So this sounds like what your friend was mentioning. It does have something to do with both your physical health and maybe even your career health.
And my mental health too.
Yeah,
I've been working
it,
on that for years, and I'm way better than I was 6 months ago.
same here, man. So let's talk a little bit about what else it says. If you cease to worry and meditate more, you will receive financial success. So it sounds pretty on point. Health wise, it does say your air element is out of balance. Too many thoughts, not enough action can cause you stress, possible liver problems. So, right now, your ability to succeed in the future, it's not just about a yes or a no, it's about quieting your mind.
Okay.
So, this is a point where they're saying, y'all, you're thinking too hard. Go out, spa day, get into a hot tub if you need to, and then you're going to be a lot better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. It does. It sounds a lot. It also it's a lot of it's what I'm doing. And the biggest thing that I was about to say, I was like, I have so many ideas racing through my head, and too many, and I'm trying to think on too many all at once right now. And so, thank you,
You're welcome.
thank you. I appreciate the answer for that.
I'll hit you back with a more private reading after
Yep.
this show. But this was a spectacular show, and I am so glad that everybody tuned in.
Thank you for
Fans of
inviting me.
mine, thank you for coming. Fans of mine, if you feel like it, just please subscribe to Nick Paro. He is amazing. Um, we got to do this again.
Yeah, we do.
I have a feeling that you might be a guest on the Crone Cocktail Hour that we came up with yesterday,
Okay.
where it's going to be me and a bunch of my witchy friends,
Oh,
all
cool.
basically spiritual healing, good vibes, and maybe mixed drinks, both non-alcoholic and alcoholic. So,
Nice.
and whatever I'm drinking, which may or may not put people in a hospital.
Hey, I was an alcoholic on the verge of it at one point in my life. At least for me, I don't have to cut back on the drinking too much because I don't really drink at all. Because my medication tells me if you drink, you're gonna have a hard time, and I
Same,
do. So I don't
same.
drink, which kind of sucks because I make mead. I brew my own mead,
Oh, dude,
and so I have some of that waiting for me, and I can't really drink it, but I'm going to, but just not yet.
I
Always
understand that.
a celebratory point for it. But this has been so much fun. I have had such a blast getting to know you today. Mine'll do the hard thing too, or it should. Yes. Um,
Wait, how
if
did
you're
you?
on a Mac if you're on a MacBook, um, you can turn your emojis on, for your videos. So, like, I can do a thumbs up and it'll do a thumbs up. I don't know how to do the rain. Like, there's one where it does, like, a rainstorm around you. Maybe. Um,
No.
Darn it. There's a celebration one, like, you can get fireworks and, like, a light show going. Um,
That's
hold
so
on,
cool.
hold on, hold on. You're just gonna have to experience this for a second, everybody.
Oh
Bring the
God,
like, the light show.
that reminds me of like the past 12, 13, 14, 15 years of my life. So many light shows, so many
Just a
lasers.
rave. So
Pretty
but
much.
this has been so much fun. I really, really, really have enjoyed getting to talk with you, and getting to learn more about your story, and I'm sorry that we went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
for trusting me, in that
no,
while you were there, to help get you out of it too. Um, and if you're ever open to just talking again, like you've already said, so I'm
always.
glad to. I'm gonna get you on for one of my shows when I'm not quite so busy.
Sounds good. Yeah, just give me a holler back. I gotta head out. I'll talk to you guys later, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.